First off, I'm going to start by putting one of these red pieces of tape over my thumb. No really real order, just like to have somewhat of a routine.
Now when it comes to the red, different companies have different color schemes and themes. Do you find that one color does have a significant difference on how the ball comes off your hand?
Sure, absolutely. I think that the red tape helps better with my thumb. For my fingers, when I'm going to be using this yellow piece of tape, I think it just gives me an overall better feel when letting go of the bowling ball. So next I'm going to put this piece of tape over my finger right here. And
is there a particular reason why you need the tape there?
Yeah, part of the bowling ball actually rubs right here when I'm letting it go, and since I get a high amount of revolutions on the ball, after a while it'll start to tear off. All right, so next I'm going to move on to my fingers. The yellow piece of tape is a little bit thicker, that way I don't have to double wrap, say, this red piece of tape right here. So I'm just going to peel this off and just wrap it once around my ring finger.
I've noticed you've cut two different lengths of tape, and is that to accommodate the two different size fingers?
Yes.
It sounds kind of like an obvious question, but sometimes we need to practice, and you may end up using some tape not working out so good, and you have to kind of start over. That's all about the practice and getting your system down to where you're able to bowl your absolute best.
I can't tell you how many different pieces of tape I've tried to try.
And again, that's why the skin tape is such a help, because not everybody calluses well, not everybody's skin holds up well, whether it's their style or just how they're made up. One interesting point that I noticed when Nathan was preparing the tape on his fingers is that he wrapped the middle finger more times than he wrapped the ring finger. And he's actually developed a system that has made his hand stronger and more resilient to the stress and torque of a high rep style. And but yet he's found a formula that he can still get good feel. And the one thing that people who are used to know finger tape or thumb tape is there's going to be a feel difference. And there will be a little bit of a transition of learning how to be able to get the most out of this new feel. So Nathan, I noticed that you put the tape all the way up to the second joint. I thought you were a fingertip bowler. Can you explain to me why the tape is going so far up your hand?
Well, it's really just to keep the tape on there while I'm bowling. When I'm bowling, you bowl lots of games in these tournaments, it'll start to wear on the tape, and I just want to make sure that the thumb hole or the finger hole is not ripping this tape off, and I'll have to continuously retape throughout the tournament. I want this piece of tape to just last the whole tournament.
That makes a lot of sense, and I remember my first experience with tape, I absolutely did not factor that in, and within a couple of shots the tape started peeling back, and once it starts peeling and you lose the adhesive, you really can't save it. And that's all part of the learning process. In some people's case, there's going to be a trade-off with feel and resilience. And you obviously want to be able to finish a tournament throwing the ball your best. So definitely practice, work with your pro shop, work with your ball driller. Don't be afraid to experiment with different companies' products, because there's a lot of great stuff out there, and you'd be surprised what will end up being the right fit for you.